Hello, thanks for coming to my video today, guys. Today I'm going to be going over VPNs, dVPNs, and Brave, and the BAT token inside of Brave, and why dVPNs are very good for Brave and very good for the BAT token to give it more utility. But I usually don't make content about Brave and BAT token. I have a little bit, but if you guys like this type of content, feel free to leave a like and a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it, and I'll just take that into account and make more content like this. But to jump right into it, real quickly, I'm going to go over what a VPN is. So normally, this is you right here. You're connecting to your ISP, and then your ISP can log all of the websites you go to, all of the message you send, all the data that goes through them. They can log it and they can sell it to people, or they can be hacked, and then that information can be released. All these bad things can happen with that. So what people do to get past this is they pay a VPN service provider to connect to a central node, and then the VPN encrypts the network, so then your ISP can't see what you're going to. And this is a good way to. It's a good first step. But so if you know how cryptocurrency works in general, like let's just look at Bitcoin for example, how it's all decentralized, so then no one knows who's who when you create a wallet. And this has happened by all of these different nodes across the entire world, versus you having a centralized bank account that completes all of the transactions instead of a decentralized set of nodes completing the transactions. It's the same thing, because your bank account, things can go wrong, and it's the same thing with a centralized VPN provider. They can create their own logs, same as an ISP can. They can have logs that can be hacked into. They can be malicious and sell your logs, especially the cheaper VPNs that aren't making much profit. So obviously, the first thing is, well, what's the point in getting a VPN if they're doing the same thing as an ISP? Because most of the good VPNs, you're not even sure if they are actually good VPNs, and they're very expensive. So the fix to this, as with everything lately, is a decentralized network of VPNs. So this is going to be, so say you and I are on a decentralized network and you're in Hong Kong. So as soon as we join our decentralized network, instead of it just being you logging all of your data, it's going to be both of us, and it's going to be an encrypted connection, and both of us are going to be having a server on our computer. So there are other issues that can arise with this, other than that don't arise with the centralized VPN, and that's what I'm going to be going over today. But also, if you guys have any questions or comments, feel free to comment down below, because this is a lot of content, so I might skim over something. So if you guys are confused about anything, comment down below, and if I don't know the answer, I will figure it out for you guys. But so why is this good for BAT and Brave? So it would actually make the Brave browser more secure in general. To me, the Brave browser is really cool. I like the ad blocking. I like the incentivized ad viewing. I like being able to give money to creators. But the privacy aspect, other than blocking ads that have trackers in them, I don't really see it unless you're using Tor with a VPN. So if Brave were to implement a decentralized VPN in their browser, so as soon as you launch your browser, and you can toggle this on or off, it would make their browser actually as private as they say it is, and it would be more private than anything on the market. And I think this is really important to achieve what they actually want to achieve. And then if we look at, and this is the other article I'm going to have in the link down below, VPN usage over time. VPNs are a very, very popular thing right now. In the last 3 years, they've gone up almost 300%. And these are just centralized VPNs, not a decentralized network. And so where this brings in utility for the BAT token is if they could charge them within the, because I don't think they're going to do this for free. So the utility for the BAT token is you having this link to, it's similar to a monthly contribution. It's going to be 15 BAT a month to be a part of this decentralized virtual private network. And that's pretty cheap compared to a lot of the centralized VPNs that are already out there that are worse. So there are some issues that could arise, and I'm going to go over this. And I'm also going to go over what's really important for a decentralized VPN to have And then I'm going to also, what's cool about this is they also compare all of the current dVPNs out there right now, and they compare it with the things that they went over. So obviously it has to be open source because people need to be able to view if there's any malicious code or misconfigurations or potential threats that could release important data that could jeopardize a user's privacy. IP blacklisting is important. Some people will have people on a dVPN doing malicious things can get their certain IPs blacklisted. So what they plan to do is have some clean IPs to make sure that those clean IPs don't get blacklisted. And then they also need to have a dynamic set of IPs that are changing all of the time. So the dynamic IPs can't be blacklisted because they are changing. And then this is really important, quality of service, and specifically for me, network performance, low latency, limited losses, high bandwidth. People are going to want to use a decentralized VPN if it's slower than centralized VPNs, and they're not going to want to use a dVPN even if it's slower than the internet they're already using. I think people will be able to deal with, like, for example, like 10% decrease in performance. Like if you're using the browser and you have the dVPN on, if you have 10%, that's not very noticeable for me at least, because my internet is pretty much instant at this point. So, but the problem is offering high network performance is much harder for dVPNs, and it's because you don't know the servers that you're connecting to across the world. Some of them are going to have much slower internet connection, and they're also going to be further away. So this is one of the trickiest things, I think, for this. And then service availability. This is really important to me. They mentioned the famous 5 nines availability, so 99.999%. And I agree with this too. On paper, a distributed design of a dVPN offers higher availability than a centralized VPN, because if servers go off for a centralized VPN, then they're screwed. Those servers are down, then no one can connect to them. But for a dVPN, it's really good, because if certain servers are offline, then there's so many people all connected to the same node that there's going to be no issue if certain servers go offline. So this is the most important thing for me, because this is why most people are doing this in the first place, is no logging. So privacy is the main service offered by a VPN in the first place. So obviously, and this is why open source is also important, because you need to make sure that there is a no log policy and there's nothing in the code that is logging anything. So then traffic accounting is really important, because a dVPN shares all of the traffic across the network. Certain people can be accounted for certain things that they're doing, and that's what's also tied into traffic blame. Since it is a decentralized node, you could have Joe across the world be using your server that you're connected to order things, hate speech, just do anything that's illegal in the certain country, and then you could be blamed for that because he's connected you to your node even though that's not you. And so these are all the things that need to be addressed with dVPNs, and although it is a lot to deal with, I do think this is the future, and this is stuff that can be worked out. So then down here they have a nice little chart that goes over all of the dVPNs that are currently out, and then the requirements that we're gone over. So you have HOLA, and then look, it's open source, but X is for everything else: VPN Gate, Mysterium, Sentinel, Nimtech, Substratum, and Classic. It's all pros and cons with all of these, as you can see. None of them have really got it figured out, with seeming like Classic and Nimtech to be the top two. But just to conclude this video, I think this is really important, and I do like the fact that someone who can obviously put out good things like Brave, like their team, it makes me happy that they're working on this, and I think it being implemented in the Brave browser would be a big thing for the Brave browser and the BAT token as a whole, because it would add more utility. But yeah, that's all I wanted to go over today. If you guys have any questions or comments down below, feel free. I really appreciate you stopping by this video. Have a good day.